Sup guys, this is what we'll be building today. Alright, so this is the social media Excel dashboard we'll be building using Excel. This is what our first page looks like. This is what the second page looks like. Sorry. So what the second page looks like. And we'll be implementing a number of things in this project. I know you guys have missed me and I've been away for a while, but I needed to sort out a couple of things, but Data with Danny is back and I have a lot planned for you guys. All right. So over the course of this project, we'll be covering a number of things. I'll be walking you guys through the data. We'll be implementing our analysis. We'll be implementing the wireframing, right? And then finally, we'll be visualizing these reports right here. So the number of things you'll be learning today will be dynamic sliders for filtering, DAX measures, and a whole lot. Okay, so sit tight and let's talk data with Johnny. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I've missed you guys, and I believe you guys have missed me, as well. So we'll be diving deep into this project. I want you guys to do me a quick favor. I want you guys to quickly like the video and drop a comment at the end with your thoughts on what you picked up in today's video. All right. So we'll be diving into this project, and we'll first of all look at what's a business problem, because we need to quickly understand the business problems. By the way, all of the resources needed, from the business problems to the data set, to the wireframing, to all of the DAX measures I'll be using, will be available in the description below. Okay, so go there and access those access those materials to give you a guide. Now let's quickly run through this project so that we can get building. So this is a social media performance analysis. And what is the background? So our agency manages, social media marketing for a marketing team for consumer lifestyle brand across Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. So over the past year, the marketing team has published hundreds of posts across multiple formats, right? Over the past couple of years. So while the overall reach appears strong, our team lacks a structured view on which strategy actually drives meaningful engagement and audience growth. So currently, the marketing decision includes platform focus, content production, and campaign allocation. They are all largely based on intuition rather than the data. So we need a data-driven analysis to help us with our Q2 campaign. And you can see some of the business questions we'll be answering right here. Okay, so you can pause and you can look at this. Okay, you can pause and look at this. So what is the analytics objective? Our task is to analyze historical data that will help us build an interactive Excel dashboards that enables leadership to evaluate things like platform performance, content effectiveness, campaign outcomes, and engagement trend over time. So the goal is to what? The goal is to support data-driven marketing decisions across upcoming campaigns. I will have some business questions that will help us answer them. Okay, so let us dive straight into our data. So this is what the data set looks like. Let me quickly expand. This is what our data set looks like. So we'll have right here, we have our post ID, we'll have our post dates, we'll have the post time, we have things like the post time slot, the platform, the content type, the kind of campaign, if it's boosted or not, if it has a link attached to it, the hashtag counts, the video duration, if at all, the image counts, if at all, the caption length, production cost, promotion budget. We have the reach, the frequency, right? The frequency. We have impressions, likes, comments, shares, saves, links clicked, followers gained. We'll have a bucket there for our caption, and then we'll have engagement. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to quickly push this into a table using the Ctrl T. we'll have this right here. Let's see if we can convert this into a date. Perfect. This should also what? This should be, let's see if we can use, it should be a time. Yes, let's use time. Fantastic, right? You can see we've quickly done this right here. So one more thing I'm going to add, of course, in Insights, we're going to add a measure, right? Let me quickly pick up the measure from my copy. We're going to add a measure. All right. So what does the measure do? Is just want us to check if our data is what? Is viral. So we'll do is underscore viral. And then I'm going to paste this right here. So what does it do? It's very simple. We're just checking, right? If the engagements, right? If our engagements, let me see for our engagements column here, which is this. So if the engagement is greater than, right? Is greater than the average engagement multiplied by what? 5. So I want to use this as a metric. So if your engagement, let's say a post is greater than 5 times the average engagement of our post, what is that? That is considered what? Viral. Else it is normal. Okay? We're going to need this. Fantastic. So the next thing I want to do is that let's quickly push this into Power Query. The data has been cleaned. I don't want to focus a lot on cleaning. That will come in the coming days. But for now, I want to quickly go to data. I will go to table range. Okay. And then just like that, it's going to push it into what? Power Query. So the whole purpose of doing this is to make sure, right? Is to make sure that the data is structured in a way that we have what? We have structured in a way that we have it loaded into a model. So let's give this the name. Let's give this social underscore media underscore performance underscore data. Okay. So we don't really need anything here. The data is clean. You can play around with it, but the data is clean. So I'll just close and load. So what this happens is that this pushes it into what? A database, into a data model. All right. So we have our data, right here. And the next thing I'm going to do, we've pushed it into what? Into this format. Okay. So I'm going to get our post time. Let us quickly reformat that as well into. So let's make sure this is what's the time. And let's make sure this is the date. All right, fantastic. Let's see if we delete this. Let's see what happens. Fantastic. So we have this right here. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is what? Is to push this into a pivot table. How do I do that? I go to insert and I go pivot table. You can see, make sure that this is ticked. Make sure that this is, we'll have this right here, which adds our data to what? To the data model. And we're going to have a blank sheet. Okay, let me move this here. We'll call this analysis. All right, we'll call this analysis. We'll call this analysis. Okay. Let me duplicate. We're going to call this dashboard elements. Dashboard elements. Right. We'll call this page 1. We'll call this page 2. All right. So for page 1 and page 2, I'm going to set this to 75. Depending on the size you're using though, for me, I'll be setting this to 75. Okay. Page 2. 75 as well. Right? 75 as well. All right, so we have our data right here. So we'll be needing a number of KPIs. But before we even do that, right? Before we do that, I will go to data. I will go to what? Data model, and I'll manage the data model. So this will take us to what? To Power Pivot. I want to create a dates table real quick, right? I want to create a dates table real quick. So if we look at our dates here, where did it start? March. Okay, we'll have March there. We'll have are these all the data set we have here? I believe we'll have 1st of March. We have okay. Let me see. We have looking at trying to look at the range. You know what? Maybe I'll just sort from oldest to newest. So what's the oldest date there? The oldest date is 1st of March. Newest to oldest, 2026. Oh, 1st of March 2025 to 1st of March 2026. So it's a 1-year data. Fantastic. So what do? I will go to home. I will go to design. Okay. We'll come here what? To dates table, and I'll say new what? Dates table. We want to create a new dates table. All right, so we'll have something like this, right? If you look at this, the reason why I'm creating this is because we'll need it for our time intelligence, okay? So I would come here as well, and it's a little bit tiny. I hope you guys can see it on your screen. I would I'll go to design, and I would update range, okay? I'm going to update the range. So what's our range going to look like? It's going to be 1st of March 2025. That's our start date, right? And then it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, let's do 31st of March. So this is going to be month 1st, 2026. This will be 3. This will be 1. And then I'll hit OK. All right, so we'll have our dates here from 1st of March 2025 down to 31st of March 2026. Okay, fantastic. So we are done with that. I'm going to quickly save. And just like that, if I come, okay, it's asking to save. Let's just call this book 1. I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to give the better name. All right, so looking at this, you can see that we have our calendar, right? We have our calendar that has all of those dates, and then we have our data right here. So what I'm going to do, I'll go back to that data. I'll go to the model. And this time around, I'll go to the home, and let's do the diagram view. You can see that this is what the data looks like. So what do? I will need to create a one-to-many relationship. How do I do that? I'm going to drag these dates, right? I'm going to put it where? In the post dates. That's that we've created a one-to-many relationship right here. And I'm going to close. All right. So we're going to kick off with what? We're going to kick off with our KPIs. right? I'm going to kick off with our KPI. So for this, we'll be writing a number of measures. I think I'll just copy and paste. By the way, all the measures will be available for you guys to play with. But we're writing a number of them. Okay, we'll be writing a number of these measures. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is I want to get what? We want to get our KPI. The first KPI is going to be, so I'll come here and I'll right click on this and I will say add measure. Right, add measure. We're going to call this total engagement. So I want to find out how many engagements we've had. The total what? Total engagements. How do we do that? It's very simple. All we need to do what is to, let me paste this right here. So it's to sum up what? Our engagement column. Right? Okay. Let me just show you what to do in case it's just type in sum. Right? Sum. What are we summing up? All I need to do is to search for engagement. Right? And you can see right here, this is the column here. So you select that. You close, you check to make sure it is all good, and then you hit OK. You can see we have what? Our first DAX measure right here. So we'll be adding more measures to this analysis. I think the second one we need what is the total impressions. Or total, right? Total impressions. Again, how do we do that? We'll have to sum. What are we summing? I'll type impressions. You can see right here. I'll select this, close, and make sure it is perfect. Okay, so we're going to need the total reach as well. Total reach. Right click, add measure. We'll call this total reach. Right? Call this total reach. And then I'm going to paste this here. Same thing. We're going to sum up what? Sum up the reach. I'm going to sum up the reach. And I will hit that. Total reach. So we want to get what? Our engagement rate. How do we get our engagement rate? Our engagement rate is basically just our, right? You can see there. So the engagement rate is, we're dividing the total engagement by what? By the total impressions. So how many persons actually engage with our post divided by what? The number of persons that saw it. So that's what impression means. So this is going to be what? Our engagement. So we're going to write all the measures we need at once, okay? Because that would take one of the longest times to do. So let me check, we're good. The next one we'll need is, let's get our total cost, of course. So our total cost will be total cost is going to be this. What our cost? We are summing up what? Our production cost, which is a column in our data, plus what? The sum of our promotion budget. Okay? That is what we are summing up here to get the total cost. So the money we spent on the production of these ads and the money we spent on the promotion of it, that will give us what? The total cost. All right, so let's get our average engagement. We're going to get our average engagement. So right click, add measure. This is going to be average engagement. Or what are we doing? We're just dividing what? You are dividing the total engagement, right? Or dividing the total engagement by the total number of what? Ads. Okay? By the total number of ads. So count rows. we're counting the total number of ads right there. Okay, now let's also get the total number of posts. So how many posts did we make? How many posts did we make? So by just counting, right? This will be what? Total. This will be total posts. What does it look like? By just counting what? All of our post ID. You can see pretty straightforward. Okay? Sorry I'm moving fast, but I want us to be as fast as possible. Okay? I want us to be as fast as possible. All right, give me a second. All right, so we still need some more measures. That kind of a lot actually. We still need some measures. I think we'll be needing close to maybe 20 or 20 plus measures. Okay, so let's get the percentage of our engagement that are likes. All right, so our likes percentage, likes percentage. Of course, knowing the right metrics to pick out from and your measures is something that comes with time and where you have the right domain. Okay, unfortunately I can't demonstrate that in person. You have to experience it yourself. So this is what? This is our, that's it right here. So we're dividing, what are we dividing? We're dividing what? The likes, number of likes by what's the total engagement. So we're going to do the same for comments, shares, and saves, because those are the things that makes what? Our engagement. So let me quickly do that right now. The same thing. And so the only thing that's changing here is what? This time around we're using comments. We'll do comments percentage. Always check your code is working. We'll do for shares. We'll do for shares. So what do? You will sum up your shares divided by the total engagement, which is the measure we wrote here. You can see, right? We are summing it up and we're dividing. Please make sure that if you're not familiar with Excel or DAX measures, just copy these codes and paste them as is, and you're good to go. But I would always recommend, right? I would always recommend that you can throw this in ChatGPT to explain, right? The logic behind any code you don't understand here. That will help you a lot, actually. So you can see here, we are doing the same word for the saves. This is what? Saves percentage. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we want to calculate our what? We want to calculate our engagement what? Quality score. We want to calculate engagement what? Quality score. So what does it look like? What does it look like? All we're doing is that we are adding, this is what we call weighted calculation, right? This is what we call weighted calculation. We're basically assigning the weight of each engagement. For example, we're saying, okay, likes has what? The minimum weight, which is 1%, right? Which is 1%, which is the baseline, which is 100%. So for every comment is what? 3 times the weight of likes, right? Shares are what? 5 times the weight of what? Likes. And saved are 4 times. So if person shares our post, it is 5 times more valuable to us than a like. I don't know if you guys understand. Okay, so these are just simple sums here. All right. So some metrics we need to calculate here as well. We have what? We have our cost, our CPE, right? Of our CPE, which is what? Cost per engagement. So how much do we spend per engagement? How do we do that? It's very simple. We're dividing the total cost by what? the total engagement. Okay, then we want to get our CPM as well. We want to get our CPM. So what does CPM do? Right, it's just basically the cost, right? Our total cost for what? For every impression multiplied by 1,000. All right, so that's what we want to do. So for every 1,000 impression, how much do we spend? That is what the CPM will give us here. And this is another what? High value metric that will come into play. Let's also see again, how much do we spend per follower? So this is also similar to our CPM. This is going to be cost per follower. Okay, and this is what it looks like. We're just dividing what they cost by what? The sum of what? Followers gain right here. Again, look at the formulas. And we still have a lot of formulas, a lot of DAX measures, to bring in. All right. So I think one of the our total followers. Okay, what's the last thing we wrote here? Let me see. We have our cost per followers. Okay, we have cost per follower right here. I want to also get what? Our followers conversion rates. There are a lot of measures, to be fair. So I want to add a new measure. This is going to be followers, right? Follower conversion. Follower conversion rate. All right, so this is what it looks like. It's very simple. We are summing up what? All of our followers divided by what? Our reach. So how many persons saw our posts and how many of them decided what? To follow us. Okay, that is what we're doing right here. Again, look at the measure. This is what the measure looks like. Okay, we still have more. We need to get our CTR. Right, we need to get our CTR. So what is the CTR? CTR means click through rates. So the CTR basically is just what is the right, the total number of what? That's the total number of what? Link clicks divided by our impressions. Okay, that's basically what we are doing right here. What next? What next? What next? Dimensioning. Dimensioning. We want to, some of these measures we might not even need. Some of these measures we might not need. So, but let us get our ROI. Okay, our return on investment, which is what? The total engagement by cost. The return on investment for what? For engagement. You can see we're dividing what? The total engagement by the total cost. Again, let me confirm. And just like that, we have that. We want to get okay. All right. Now, this is a measure that we might not need, but let me just add it. So this is, we're going to add what? Campaign efficiency, campaign efficiency index, right? So what does this do for us? For it to paste it right here is very simple. It pretty much we pretty much so we want to get our total engagement plus what? The total followers gain multiplied by 2, right? Divided by what? The total cost. The total cost. I don't think I use this for this analysis because this data set you could do a lot of things. So we're going to leave that there. So let's get the total followers. Let's get our total followers. All we're doing is what we are summing all of the followers that we gained. So this is going to be total followers. Total followers. And then this is just what? The sum of the followers gained. Again, let's check everything is working. And we want to get what? We want to get our average reach. So on average, how many people do we reach per ad? Right? Average reach. This is what it looks like. It's just the average of what? Our reach column right there. We're going to add our viral flag. I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this. I'll come back to this if we need this. Okay, we still have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We still have about 15 metrics, KPIs to write, DAX measures to write. So there are a lot. I think total is about 30 something. All right. I love using these to help me have way better analysis. Right. I love combining DAX measures and Excel pivot tables to help me. So the first one I'm going to do, I want to get our essential measures. So I'll quickly insert this. So these are what? Let's bring this here, KPIs. Right? We're going to pull in all of the measures we've written so far. They will help us in our analysis. So these are what? Essentials. These are essentials. So what I'm pulling in here, I want to get what? I want to pull in our, let's see the total number of posts. I'll put it here in the values. We have 450. Let's pull in what? Our total followers. So how many followers do we gain from this post? We have about 10,000 plus. Let's pull in what? Our total engagement as well. We want to pull in our total engagement. Where are you? We have pulling total engagements, total impressions, total what? Reach. All right, fantastic. We're going to highlight this 4. So I'll highlight this. I want to quickly format this into, let's use this right here. Okay. All right, fantastic. We need to get some other KPIs. Let me pull up my own copy right here. 1 second. All right, so we need to pull up some other KPIs. We're going to I'll duplicate this and I'll paste it here. We're going to take out every single thing here. And what I'll be putting here will be, it's going to be, so we'll drag in our engagement rate. We're going to put that there. We'll drag in total cost and our average what? Engagements. Well, maybe we should move the total cost down. Maybe. All right. So I'm going to highlight this. This should be what in percentage to decimal places. This should be in dollars. And this should also be into decimal places. make sure you copy the entirety of your pivot table so that we can duplicate it. So I would copy this and I'll paste it down here. So here is going to be what? Our engagement metrics. And see why I said we'll have to move all of these things here. You know what? Let's take this out. Let's take this out. And our engagement metrics will be pulling in things like the like, percentage, the comments, the shares, the saves, right? The saves. And let's get our followers conversion rate. And finally, we'll have the quality score right here. So from here down to here, we're going to convert to what? We're going to convert to percentages. Okay. All right. That's cool. And then this will be what? This is going to be our engagement metrics. Right? Engagement metrics. And then this is going to be our financial metrics. So here, so our financial metrics, all we need to do is what? We need to drag in the things like the total costs. Anything that has FX is your DAX measure there. So we'll have our total costs. We want to bring in what? We want to bring in things like our CPM. So cost per engagements, the CPM, cost per follower, right? Cost by follower. For good measure, let us add RI and this as well. All right. So this will convert to dollars, to decimal places. Okay. This will be percents. And this will be to decimal places. Okay. So this is what all of our metrics are looking like. All right, so this here has given what our stakeholders a very big idea on what is going on there. So let's bring this here, and then let's bring this here. Go home, and let's use the color. This is the color to section out this part. All right, so let's quickly blow through this analysis. Everything we'll need here. So let's start with our analysis. All right, let's start with the analysis. All right. So let's start with the first question. Right? Which platform drives the highest engagement rate? So what platform drives the highest engagement rate? All I need to do is to just pick any of these pivot tables. So I'll copy and I'll bring it down here and I'll paste it. We're going to take out everything. So what do I do? So off rip, I'm going to pull in, should have a channel right there. I'm going to pull in the channel, or rather in this case, I think it's going to be what? Platform rather. I'll put the platform and I'll drag in where? I'll drag in our engagement rates. So I want to find out where do we get the most engagements. If I pull this in, we'll have this right here. Okay, fantastic. I'll convert this to percentage. I want to right click. I want to pivot table options. I don't want any for totals and filters. I want to turn all of this off. So you can see off rip. So if I sort this in smallest to largest, you can see off rip. You can see that TikTok has almost 9% engagement rates, followed by Instagram, and then Twitter and Facebook coming last. I'll go a step further. We can say, okay, fine, cool. Let's also find out. Okay, so let's find out how many posts. I can drag the total posts and I'll put it right here. So here we can find out how many posts. Right? You can see that despite us having almost the highest posts here, so we use TikTok a lot, and TikTok is what's converting a whole lot more compared to this, and this. All right? So I'm going to quickly reference this out. So I'll go equal to, I'll pull this and I will reference this out. And then I'll pull this and I'll reference this out. Fantastic. So for sorts, it's going to look something like this. Okay? Cool. So question 2. The question is simple, right? So what content type performs the best across what different platforms? So what am I going to do here? I'm going to quickly copy this. Okay? And I'll paste it right here. So here we're going to leave this as is. I'm going to add one more thing. All right? I'm going to add one more thing. I will take out this post. I will come here and I'll pull in what? The content type. And I'll put it where? In the column. You can see right there, we have all of our metrics. If I were to highlight all of this, go to home and apply conditional formatting, you can see the clear patterns there. You can see that of video dominates, right? And you can see TikTok, we have the video being the most at 14% for TikTok, followed by Instagram, Facebook, and then Twitter. And you can see the next one that even comes remotely close to this at half is what? Carousels. And you can see carousels excels the most on Instagram, right? You can see the images performance, and you can see that among all of them, text is just very poor. Okay? Text is very, very, very poor. All right, okay? For good measure, I'll also duplicate this, Ctrl+C. I'll put this down here. This time around, I want to take this out, Ctrl+Z. I want to bring this here, and I want to take the platform out. Okay, I want to take the platform out. And then percentage. Okay, I want to also, for good measure, let's bring in the total posts. Let's bring that in as well. Okay, you can also see the breakdown right here. Okay, I see the breakdown right here. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next question. So question 3. So what campaign generates the most engagements and followers growth? Okay, so how do we answer this? I'm going to quickly copy this, right? I'll drop it right here. So very quick analysis. This time around, we're going to pull in what are we pulling in? We're pulling in our campaign, right? In that campaign, we want to keep what? Our total engagements, right? We want to keep our total engagements right here. We want to pull in our engagement rates right here. We want to see, okay, find how our customers engaged, the total numbers of followers, right? Our total costs, and our overall what? Engagements. Okay, so these are the four tables we're going to have here. So looking at this, we have okay, so I have the total followers there. Cool. For the total costs, this is going to be in $. And then for this and this, we just use this right there. All right, if we want to find the patterns, we can highlight each and every one there. All right, so you can see the breakdown right there. So for good measure, let me quickly just reference out this because I might need part of it to visualize. Okay, and here I'm going to reference what? The total engagement. All right, there we go. Let's look at the fourth question. Let's look at this. So the question is very simple right here. Question is very simple. Does higher impressions lead to more meaningful engagements? So how do we do that? Again, we'll be performing a correlation analysis. So I'm going to pull this in here, Ctrl+C. I'll paste it here. Check out everything. So what do I do? I'll pull in what? Our impressions column. I'll pull in our impressions column. Okay. And then I'll grab what? Our total engagement measure. And I'll put it right here. All right. And then I'll quickly what? Calculate the correlation. So I'll go Corel. It's going to be this, comma, this. Okay. So this right here is what? Our correlation coefficient. That means they have a strong relationship positive relationship between the both of them. So when one goes up, the other one also goes up as well. Okay, cool. Let's quickly answer some more questions. So I'm going to push this right here. Let's paste this here. And what's the question we're trying to answer? Questions are very simple. Ctrl+A, Ctrl+C. I want to see if the boosted ads, okay, a boosted post, are they worth the investments? Right? A boosted post worth the investment. So I'll take this out and I'm going to replace this with is boosted, right? So we'll have what? Yes or no. So we'll have our boosted ad and we'll have the ones that are not boosted. So from here, what do we want to do? We want to get informations like what? Our average reach, right? Want to get our average reach. Want to get our average engagement, right? Average reach, average engagement, costs per engagement, total cost, and our engagement what? Rate. So the only thing I'll be keeping here we'll be keeping the total cost, we'll be keeping the engagement rates, So I'll take this out, I'll take these out. Okay, we're going to pull in the average reach. So on average, how far do they reach? So I have our average reach here, okay? We want to, on average, what is the total engagement we have? Then write a measure for that. Average engagement, cool. And then we want to what our cost per engagement. Okay, fantastic. So this, I'm supposed to format this once and for all. So that's our average reach. That's our cost per engagement. You can see the total cost, and you can see what the engagement rate. So looking at this, so that on average, the boosted is reaching what? 300 times, 300%, right? 13,000 against 38,000. Almost 300% compared to what? When it wasn't boosted. You can see there's a similar trend in the average engagement rate as well. On average, you're reaching about three times more than when it was not boosted. And compared to all of these metrics, if you see at the cost per engagement, right? The cost per engagement, you can see here that it is just 0.2 difference, all right? 0.2 difference. You can see the engagement rate and you can see the total cost. It is 50% more expensive. Okay. So that cost per engagement, I did spell it correctly. All right, before anything, let me hit Ctrl S, let me save, because I've been bitten by this before. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly, right, I'll reference, so I'll call this what? Organic. I'll call this organic, and I'm going to call this boosted. I'll reference the cost. Let me confirm what I did. Oh, I'm going to reference what? The average engagement. And I'm going to bring this down. All right. So we still need some more, we need to answer some more questions. So the sixth question here is, what time of the day, right? What time of the day what drives the most engagement? So how do we do this? I'm going to drag this, Ctrl C. I'm going to paste it down here. I'm going to take everything out by the engagement rates. For good measure, I'll pull in what? I'm going to pull in the total post, so I can compare the post and the engagement rates. And then I'll replace this with all right. So I have this here. I'm going to quickly pull in, what? The time. What happens when I pull the time and put it here? What happens is that Excel automatically what splits it for us into the time, the minutes, and the hour. So in this case, I want to take out the time, I want to take out the minutes, I want to leave what? Only the hour. And looking at this, you can already see the time of the day, right? Here we get the most engagements. So from afternoon to evening, and then dip at night. And for weird reason, 8 a.m. in the morning. Maybe because here people are going to work, they just scroll through their socials on their way to work. And here people are back home that chill at home. You can see another spike again. And then from 1 o'clock all through 6 p.m., you can see the time of the day that we get what? The most engagements. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. Let's paste it here by the side. I'm going to replace this. I'm going to use the I'm going to use the time slot. Okay, again, you can see afternoon, evenings, right, midday, and then mornings. You can see the trend. Of course, this is what's mirroring this trend right here, when you summarize formats. Okay, I think we still have a couple of more questions to answer, and then we'll call it a wrap. All right, so the last question here is, what's the relationship between what? Production quality, which is cost, and engagement. Okay, so that's very easy to answer. We'll pull this in as well, and then we're going to paste this right here. We'll drag in, we're going to leave the engagement rates here. Take this out, take these out, and then replace here with what? We need to replace this with our production what? Cost. We'll pull this in and boom. You can see. So what do I do? Again, let's quickly get the correlation. Here, Ctrl C, comma. Let's bring this up. Let's do this just to bring this. Instead of 8.8, I'm just change this to 8.9. Perfect. And boom, you can see 0.4. 0.4. Which is a mild correlation, positive correlation between these two elements right here. Now, there's one more thing we need to do. We need to identify the viral posts. Okay, we need to identify the viral posts. And how did I do that? Remember, I wrote a measure, or a function rather, here that we used to identify the posts that are what? Viral or not. Okay, so I'm going to quickly come here. I've duplicated this. Let's take out everything. Okay, let's take out everything. So what am I going to do here? I am going to, let's leave this empty. I'm going to grab our post ID. So I want to find out the top 10. The post ID here. And then I'll grab, you have, let's see, do I have a measure here? Let me confirm if I have that measure. The viral flag measure. I think I do. Okay, let me grab it real quick. Oh, we're going to add a new measure. This is going to be what? Our viral flag. And then I'm going to paste this in here. It's similar to the function we wrote in Excel, right? What are we doing? We want to first of all get the global average. So this is the total average, okay, of our the average engagements generally. And then what do we want to do? We want to now say, okay, fine, check. If our engagement of that post is greater than 5 times the average, then it is what? Viral. Otherwise, it is normal. So if you look at this, you can see the measure. Again, you can pause to write this, but at the same time, if you check the description, you're going to actually have all of this available for you. So we check and we are good to go. Cool. So I'll pull this in, the viral flag. I'm going to put it here. Fantastic. Okay. I'm also going to pull in where the person posted, so the post platform. The post platform, we'll have that there. No, I think I had to write it again. Yes, we needed the measure to give us the max. So instead of us, because we don't want to aggregate, rather we want to show the max. So I would come here and then we're going to paste that. This is going to be our post platform. It's just what? The max of our platform column. We're going to do the same for the media type. A new measure. This is what? Media type. The media type. We'll paste this. You can see there the max of the content type. What text? Let me get the last measure. So I want to know if it's boosted or not. Boosted. This is what it looks like. Again, is the marks of if it's boosted or not. I'll check this and we're good to go. All right, do we need any other measure for this? No, we don't. I'll bring in the viral flag. We have that there. I'll pull in what? The post platform, the media type, and if it is what? Boosted. Okay. And then finally, what am I going to do? I am going to, so we'll have this right here. It's looking good. I will drag in our total engagement and I'm going to put it here. We're going to edit that. And then I will pull in what? So I'll come to this filter and I will drag in that column we created, which is what is viral. And I'll put it here. I'll filter this to just viral. And I'll hit OK. Boom. And just like that, with what? We have all of our viral posts. Okay? Cool. Now, let me quickly grab the color I'll be using, the color code. If you guys want the exact color code, you can pick it from this sheet here. But you know, I would really appreciate if you guys would play with this more, right? If you guys should play with this, the colors and everything. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this, and then I'll go to home. I'll go to conditional formatting. We're going to use what? Data bar, right? You can select more rules. So the rules is fairly simple. Okay. Our color is what? Is this color code here. You can see right there. You can pause. And let's put a solid border of, let's say something like this. Okay. And I want to show what? Only the bar. So you click on show bar only and then you hit OK. And boom. Just like that, to have our mini line charts. Can go ahead and sort largest to smallest and boom. Just like that, we've created this. This will come in handy for us. All right. So we still have a few things we need to do. But we'll be doing those things in our second sheet. We're doing those things in our second sheet. All right. So let's dive straight into our dashboard elements. Okay. Before we do that, let's quickly convert. Let's come up here. Let's convert this into something else. I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, this could be in our dashboard element, but I cannot grab any of the shell. I don't want to write the measures for this. So I'll just drop it here. So the only things I want to keep here is very simple. I'll take all of these out. So here I want to put in the likes. So I'll grab the likes. I'll put it here. Okay. Sum of likes works. Sum of like works. I'm going to pull in what? The comments. I don't want to write all the measures for this. We've written more than enough already. Comments. Or drag you put here. We'll pick in the shares and this, right? We'll have all of this right here. So what do I do? I'm going to what? Create something like this here. And I'm going to reference them one by one. So we'll come here. This is our like right there. I'm going to need this equal to, the next thing we need here is shares. This is the shares. This is our clicks. Finally, we have comments. Of course, we're going to align this and make sure it is in this format. Okay, right here. So all I need to do is to copy this. format painter, and boom. You can see, right? I'm done with this. We're going to need this. Now, so let's jump into, let's design our wireframe. Okay, let's design our wireframe. So this is going to be because of time. Because of time, I don't want this to be long. So I'll just copy and I'll paste this here. Okay, so you guys have access to the full wireframe. There is no time for this. If I go to right, let's go to view, and then we turn the grid line off, turn off the header as well. So this is what the wireframe is looking like. You will find this attached to you. All of these things are just simple logic. I will just scatter it and I'll pull it back in for you together for you guys. You know, if I decide to design this wireframe from scratch, this video is already coming up for 2 hours. It's going to take way longer than I would want it to. And you know, the attention span of human beings in general is problematic. So this is what the wireframe looks like. By the way, this is just stacking up of two different shapes, two different sizes of shapes. By the way, you understand? So you just, you know, when you play around with this, you can change the colors and everything you have there. We'll have our title there. Again, this is just overshadowed by this. Can you see? It's just being smart. You understand? All of these things are what? These are just texts. These are icons. Okay? These are icons. So you can play around with this in your own time. If you want to learn how to wireframe using Power BI, using Figma, I already have a video on that. You can check it out. All right? You can check it. You can check it out. So these are just elements, visual elements. I'm going to also get this as well for the page 2. It's similar. This is even easier than the page 1. Okay? So this is what our wireframe will be looking like. This is what our wireframe will be looking like. I will be leaving this there. So this will be going to be our wireframe 1, right? And this is going to be our wireframe 2. The reason why I'll have to take a screenshot of this thing, right? So that the size isn't going to be, you know, a problem for us. The size isn't going to be a problem. I think I have screenshots of it already. Let me quickly confirm on my end. I'm gonna confirm real quick. I think I have it somewhere, Sha. Let me check. So it's the image that I'll be using. Okay, is the image I'll be using right there. Here you can see here we have screenshots of our report. Look at it. Right. Now the reason I did this is because I want to make sure, right? I want to make sure that everything is lightweight. Let me tell you why you should do this as well when you're working with your own projects. You need to take into account that this is our initial wireframe, right? This is what we have here. Your Excel is going to load every single image right here as an individual property, right? Compared to just an image. If you're asking me how you take an image, it's very simple. Just go to home, open Windows sniping tool. You open Windows sniping tool. You know this now, and you take a screenshot. But I'll also attach a screenshot as well of my own for you guys. Link in the description. Take a new screenshot of it and then you upload it as what? An image. That's what you need to do. Right, all you need to do is just go here, inserts, picture, place over cell, right? Place over cell, stock image, and then you import your image, and then you resize it to work very well for you guys. All right. So we're doing some stuff right now. We'll be building out our dashboard elements that we'll be using to design this report. All right, so we're going to start with, I'm going to quickly copy this wireframe 1. I'm just zoom in so that I can capture what I want there. You can see this, right? I need each and every one of this. You just hold down your control and then you copy. I should have added this to the screenshot, but you should. So copy, and the page 1, I'm going to paste it right there. Control V. Think going to be something. Let me confirm what it looks like. Okay, cool. Oh shit. I think it should be something like something like this. If there's any need to adjust anything, I'll do that. Now let's start building out our dashboard elements. All right, so we'll have this right here. So the first thing I'm going to build here is going to be, we want to get our, you know what, let's start adding in our figures first things first. So for our first impressions, or total impressions, what do? I'll quickly insert, right? I'm going to insert a text box, right? Then we'll go to view, let me quickly turn on formula bar, equal to, I would come to the analysis, and I'll put in what? The total impressions. That's our first KPI. You should always reference this so that they become what? Dynamic. Okay. I'm going to right click, format shape. We don't want any line, we don't want any fill. All right. By the way, this is this shape here is a gradient. You can see it's a gradient in case you want to play around with different colors, which I suggest you should. Make yours a little bit different. So we'll have this here, and let me quickly get the exact dimensions I used. Let me get the exact dimensions I used. I'm going to expand this. Okay, for my own, I used 28 bold. All right. So we're going to pull this, and we're going to drop it what? Down here. You can see that we need to move this down a bit. Let's move it down a bit for now. So we'll have what? Our total revenue. Quickly do the same. I'll duplicate. Sorry, total impressions. I'm going to duplicate this. And for this, we're going to get what? So we're going to get our reach. You highlight everything again, come to your analysis, and you select what? Your reach. So you need to do is to come here, format painter, and boom, you do this. Okay. So we'll have this, just select both of them, shift format, you align to the top. There we go, to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. We can pull this underneath here. We'll mark the both of them again, align to the top. There we go. All right, so we'll have this right here. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to quickly pull in our the line chart here to show the trend. All right. So how do we do that? We'll come to our dashboard elements. I will come here now to our, we'll be using the month. Okay. We're using the month. We're using the month of, let's see if we can, let's use the year month. Let's see. So put in the year month. I'm playing around with this. And then we're going to pull in the total impressions, right? Total impressions and total reach. Our total impressions and total reach. Okay. It's looking good. So that's the first dashboard element we'll be using. Right. I did something else on my own copy. I'm just trying to experiment something. Let me confirm something real quick. You know what? Let's just keep it simple. Let me take this out and let's use the month. Okay, let me zoom in. This is what we have here, right? We're going to quickly insert this into a chart, right? This is what the chart is going to look like. This is what our chart is looking like. Okay, this isn't giving me what I want. I want the short form of this. Maybe we'll replace this then. We'll replace this with I can pull in the post dates. It's going to split. I would edit that if I wanted, but let's do something else. It's going to split it to us again. And then we'll take out the dates, take out the quarter, or take out the year. So this is what I want. And I'm going to insert this into a recommended chart. This is what the chart will be looking like. So first things first, I'm going to right click and I'm going to hide all fields and button. We don't want this. Right? So you click and remove by using your backspace. We'll take this out as well, right? We don't want any lines here. I'll right click the outside line here and I want to format. I'm going to format chart area. We don't want any line, we don't want any field. So we'll have this right here. I will click on this. We don't want any line. Okay, we don't want any line. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'll click on the first one here, which is this. And let me see the color I used real quick. Let me get the exact color I used. Okay, I used black because of the color. Let me quickly get the color I used. It's not black. There's a particular color I use here. So you select the first one. You select the first one, which is this. Am I selecting this? Am I selecting all of them? I don't even know. Okay, let me just click this. I think I am. I'm going to replace this with that black. I see the color code. You can check mine to pick them up. Boom, there we go. And then for the second one, I'll quickly pick that color as well. So for this, we're going to use this color right here. Okay, finally, we need to adjust a couple of things. So I'm going to change the gap width. I'm going to change the gap width from 219. I will change it to 95. This is purely optional though. Just get it to the way you want yours to look. And for the series, I'll be using 0%. Okay, I want everything to be next to each other. I'm going to cut this. And we'll go to our visual, Ctrl V. I'll paste it right here. So let me zoom in to make sure everything is good. I'm going to adjust this. Make sure you have enough space. Okay, well, you can bring this down a bit if you want. Fantastic. All right, looking good. Looking good. I can select this and make sure it is what? It is black. So that it should pop. Now let's come back to our dashboard elements. I want to rename this. So pivot table. Let's give this KPI KPI. We can give this reach. KPI reach impress. KPI reach impress. All right, cool, fantastic. So the next thing we need to do is we also need to build out some other things. We'll come back to those. We'll come back to. Remember that this is going to take us the longest to build out. You know what? Let's just build everything. So back to the dashboard elements. Okay, all right, that's cool. I think the next thing we need to do here is to get what? Is to get our total engagement. So for the total engagement, yes. Again, I can select this, and this time around I'll align to the bottom. Maybe I'll adjust this when the time is right. I'll just CV. So I duplicate this and I'll bring you here. Our total engagements come here, and our total engagements are going to do this. All right. Again, format the painter. I will have this right there. We can adjust this underneath. What I'll be building here, I think we're needing a pie chart. Okay, we'll be needing a pie chart. All right, so let's quickly build out that pie chart right here. We'll be using this. Highlight this. See, this is why I set it up like this. We have to select this whole thing here, and I insert this into a donut chart. For you can see what it looks like. Can you see? We don't want this. But if it's structured like this, and I insert this into that same donut chart, this thing is so tiny. My eyes are killing me. I can't see that far. I need to get glasses. I'm getting old. I'm not 30 yet though. I'm still some years of 30, to be fair. So this is what we want instead. This is what we want. You can see I have some templates here to fasten, the speed of this right here. So I'll show you how to use templates. So we'll be using the pie. We're using the donut rather. All right, I need to pick up the page so that I can speed run through this. So the usual, we don't want this. No line, no fill. I'm going to move this. So I'll take this. It's going to be something like this. All right, so let's cut this. And let's paste this here. So I want it to look something like this. Okay? I want it to look something like this. We can adjust this however we want to make it look real nice. And we can move this. All right, cool. So let's start editing. So for this first one, I'm going to double click. And we want to change this to what? Our initial pink. For the color, we want a solid line. The line should also be what? That pink. And then we'll increase the width to like 8. Okay. And then for the second one, let me grab the color real quick. So you double tap. You double tap on this. And then we're going to use this color here. For the third one, all right, so we're going to use solid. We'll be using this. Then we increase this to maybe 5.5, right? Or 5. For this, same thing. We use this to maybe 3.5. And then finally this, we use something, this is our black. There. So this is what our pie chart is going to look like. Okay. Now I'm going to quickly do something. I'll duplicate this. So for the likes, what is in? Let's shrink this. So I'm just referencing all of these things right here. All right. So we'll mark all 4. And we'll align. Let's align real quick towards to the right. There we go. You can adjust them. You can adjust them as need be. Okay. So this right here is our second KPI. Let's zoom out a bit. You can see what it's looking like. All right. Fantastic. So for the third KPI, let's quickly get the KPIs out of the way. And then, so this is supposed to be in and around here. All right. The KPI usually takes the longest. Analysis, our engagement rates, where are you? We'll pull this in. Okay, we'll pull this in. You adjust it. Let me just get my painter. You adjust yours. Maybe make it slightly smaller than the other one. We'll have this right here. That means this is going to be right here. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'll come here. I will duplicate this, Ctrl C, and I'll put it here. And you know, I will quickly take this out. We'll take this out. And you want to bring our engagement rates. So we'll have this right here. I'm going to insert this into, we're going to use this time around, we're going to use an arrow chart. It's going to look something like this. So how do you edit this? The same thing. I have already saved this. So I have the same thing here. We'll take these out. We take all the usual. Okay. this want this clean, and then I'm not going to do this all the time, by the way. You make sure everything is out. You come here, you select this to gradient view. You can see the settings I used, right? If yours doesn't work like this automatically, just use the pink on this side, use the kind of yellowish on the side. Once you're done with this, you'll be using this multiple times. What do? You come here and you save it as what? Template. You give it a name and you save. Now, let me show you what that template does. I'm going to quickly delete this. Now, let me highlight this and let me insert. I will just go to that template I saved. You can see it here. And I'll pull it in. So then I can design it once and I can use it numerous times. Okay? That will hasten our speed. We'll have to come here to bring. All right. We're going to shrink this down. Make sure it fits perfectly fine. It's going to look something like this. Make sure you always give your charts space to breathe around your visuals. So we're going to do the same thing for the follower counts. We'll do for follower counts as well. So here's the follower count. Yeah, that's it. So that's the total followers we've had. Just format the painter and you drop it here. You can extend it so that I can take in as much as possible. Come to our dashboard elements. I'll duplicate this. I'll put it here. This time around, we're going to use what? We're going to use followers. All right. You guys get the gist. I'll pick up the paste for this. Duplicate this. This is going to be what? This is going to be our follow-up conversion rate, which is this. Make this bold. It's going to be right here. Okay. All right. So let's quickly align this and this. Align towards to the left. Let's see what it will look like. All right. Perfect. We'll duplicate both of them. Duplicate both of them here. This is going to be our cost per engagement, which is this. This is going to be all So the KPI card is pretty much done. Of course, we still need to do some crazy stuff right here. Okay, let's come to our dashboard elements. We need to write some DAX measures. We still need more. I told you guys. Let me quickly grab them. And so we need some KPIs. Let's quickly write that. So first things first, we need an overall. So look at what this formula is. So we want to calculate the average rates, the engagement rates, right? But we want to use it all. Why? Because we don't want it to affect any filtering context. So we want it to be what is standard. You get? We don't want it to change. And I'll show you why I need this. So we're going to rename this as average engagement rates, open brackets, global. Okay. So we want what a smart summary here. And this isn't today that I'll start explaining this for you guys. It's kind of long. So this is going to be our smart summary. It's long, right? This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. If you know how to use that, you will know what this means. But it's very long, so I'll not be explaining this. But at your time, you can look at it. You can try to do ChatGPT, Claude, whatever AI you use to give you a detailed breakdown. It's too long for me to explain. And if you don't have at least a basic understanding of DAX measure, you won't understand what's going here. But this is just going to be our smart summary, right? Our monthly engagement smart summary. So let's put that in. Same thing with our so I want to get some time intelligence right here. Okay, so this is going to be our engagement month KPI. This is what that measure looks like. It's kind of long again. But basically all we're doing here, right? All we're doing here is that we want to get what? Our current engagement rates. We want to get the previous engagement rates by using the calculate function and the date add minus what? 1 month as our second variable, which is the previous rates. Then our previous month date is what? We're using the same calculate to get the max of our calendar date minus 1, right? And then once the previous month name as well and the percentage change. And we're going to write a simple if statement to make sure that number one, it captures, right? So if it does not have one value, we want to off our month year, we want to return what? Nothing. Else, if there's no previous month, we don't want to have no prior month. So it's a long, complex, look, I see it here. Okay, all of these measures will be available for you guys because of time, because this will be going well over 2 hours, and you know, like I said, attention span is a problem. So I'm going to run this in. So it's the same for pretty much everything here. It's the same, just different cells. When you open yours, you will see. So we have to do the same for impressions and every other thing. All right, all of the DAX measures will be available for you guys. You can see the exact same formula. The only thing that changes is what? The cell we're referencing. Okay. So let's do that. For reach. We'll do that for reach. We'll do that for engagement as well. AI can actually help you with this if you're building this from scratch. Gone are the days where you write all of this things from scratch. If not, it takes a ridiculous number of hours to get all of these measures. We'll go for CP as well. Huh? Here is a problem. Your formula is invalid or incomplete. CP KPI. Cost per engagement. Let me confirm something real quick. I tell you there's no cost per engagement here. There's cost per engagement there now, innit? Okay, what the hell happened? Sometimes this thing acts weird. Okay, we'll have that there. Let's do for our arrow I as well. Control A. We need some more measures. We still need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 6 more measures. Let's just get all the measures out of the way right now. Okay. Let's just get this out of the way. All the measures out of the way right now, so that we don't come back here again. So basically what this does, right? We just want to what? We are calculating our cost per engagement, but for only the cost. We have the boosted is what? No. So this is going to be our organic CP. This is ridiculous. This was what happened before. Why is this acting weird? Look at it right here now. Cost per engagement. And it's going to work. Weird. We'll do the boosted as well. So the boosted is where our boosted is what? Is yes. That's the only difference. Same thing. We'll just have to take this and replace it, and we're good to go. I think I've gotten the media type, the boosted. I think I've done that. Okay. So we need 2 more summaries. All right, we'll have 2 more summaries here. They are long, but you will see when I push them into a visual, you will know what they do. So this is what the summary looks like. I see it's very long. And then finally, let's just get this out of the way because there's so many. We have so many measures, almost 40 something or 30 something. When you're done with this and you do your research on some of these DAX measures, you will learn a lot. All right, I think that's it. I think that's all we need. So first things first, I'm going to duplicate this. Control C. I'll paste this right here. Let's take out everything. Do not want to pull in here. I want to pull in where are those measures. We want to pull in our monthly engagement, media performance, and strategy performance. It's going to look very, very crazy. But I want to shrink this down. All right, I want to shrink this down. We don't need them to show that much. This thing is supposed to. Why are you spreading this far? Anyways, that's cool. We have those right there, and let us build. This thing can be tricky to play around with. I want you to go to somewhere, right? I want you to go to somewhere that nothing can impact the space. Okay, of this. That is your dashboard elements. Okay, so we want to put in here. We want to put in a number of items. So we'll pull in all of the KPIs. We'll pull in impressions. Let's put in our impressions engagements KPI. Let's pull it in. We'll have our impressions KPI reach 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. I think that's all of them. Hey, match yourself. Mr. Dan, there's nothing showing here. Now let me bust a bubble. Let's come here. Let's go to pivot table analyze. Let's insert what? A slicer. And then let's pull in the year month. That's what we want. That's what we need here. The year month. Now watch what happens. Let's select December 2025. Boom. Are you seeing it? Can you see? Beautiful. Now what's left for us is to add color. Our color to these things. So let's quickly reference them out. Let's reference them out. So or let's see if we can apply it to this individually. Right. So for the engagement, right, for the engagement KPI, can I format the painter? Will it work? I don't think it will. Let's see. Yep, it didn't work. It's not going to work. All right, so let's quickly highlight this whole thing. Let's highlight this whole thing. Let us we don't want this. Sorry. Now, multiple ways you can format this, by the way. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. So right click, pivot table options. We don't want this auto fits, right? We don't want this auto fits right there. All right, so let us come here. Let me grab that formatting real quick. You'll see the power of conditional formatting. Let me quickly come get the formatting here. So let's see what that looks like. So I would come here. Let's start with this. I will go to home, conditional formatting. I'm selecting there's no power. We use what? We're going to create a new rule. Right? We're going to create a new rule. We want to use what? A formula. And I'm going to paste this here. Can we zoom into this? No, we can't. All right. So I'm just going to clean this out. I'll give you guys a sample of each, and I will select this thing here. I'll select this to make sure that it is the right code. Okay. So if this happens, right? If this happens, so if it contains this up arrow, that means there is a growth. You understand? That means there is a growth. So if it contains this up arrow for the engagement, we want to what? We want to format this. I want to use what? We want to use the font. So the font color, I want to use what? Green. And now I will hit OK. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. You can see right there. You can see right there. Can make it bold. Can you see? It's looking nice for us. Looking real nice. I'm going to do the same for each and every one here. But let me copy the second one here. All right, so I'll come back here again, and then we'll do the same thing. New rule, same thing. Use the formula. I'm going to paste this. So basically, if this contains the down arrow, that means there's what? There is a negative month. So month on month. So if there's a dip, what do we use? We should use red. Make sure you're selecting from there, and we can use what? We can use a shiny red. Click on OK, and good. So let's test this. Can you see? Can you see? Fantastic. Fantastic. I don't think I like this green. I don't think I like this green. So we're going to quickly I'll go to manage cell rules. I'll edit. Let's use something a little bit more shouty. Now, I'm going to pause the video here, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing for each and every one, okay? So that will save us a bit of time, bit of run time, okay? All right, so you can see here that I've applied it to every one of them. But there are a couple of changes though for the cost per engagement, right? If your cost rose up, so if your cost went up, it should be a negative thing rather than a positive. Okay, if your cost goes up, it should be a negative thing rather than a positive. So I inverted what? The color. That was what I did here. So basically all we're doing here, if you look at that function, we're using the search to look for the position of the triangle, and if it's facing up and down, and then if it's facing up and down, we're returning it to what is number, which will return true or false, and then we'll pass that into what? Our if statement. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of this. So for our design, I want something blank. Let's go to home. I don't want any border. No border. Okay. So this is how I want this. This is how I want this to look. You know what? So let's go to our view. Let's turn off the not formula bar. Let's turn off the grid lines. So we want this to be plain like this. All right. So let's insert everything into our visual. Okay. Let's insert everything into our visual. I'm going to pick up the pace. So I would come here. So for the total impressions, which is this, I'm going to, right? What I'm going to do is to what? I'll highlight this and I'll click on this camera here. Okay. I'll come here and I'll paste it. So we'll have this what? Right here. Perfecto. What do we need to do? We need to format the picture. We don't want any line or fill. Okay, don't want any line or fill. You can see this is looking good right here. You can decide to increase it if you want. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the rest of them. For the rich, we'll do the same thing. We'll capture. All right. Let me see if I can format. Let's see if we can do that. Fantastic. So I'll have this right here as well. You adjust it and then you place it right there. We'll do the same for every single one. So for the total engagement, which is this, make sure there's enough space. Capture. Format the one to. So we'll have this here. So we need we need 3 more. Let's get for our okay. I think I might still need one more. I think I missed one more. Okay, I think I missed one more. Right, maybe you just add that to yours. Okay, I'll do it. Don't worry. So we'll have this 4, 5, which is this. That's for the CPE. That's for the CPE. And then finally this. Use the color that pops. Okay. So we'll have this here. Everything is looking, if I zoom out a bit, you can see that everything is looking good so far. Right? You can see that everything is looking good so far. For this one, you should just create one for this. I'm going to add the code, but because of time, or maybe I'll do it in post. Okay. Now, let's start with our visuals. Okay. Let's start with our visuals. So the first visual I want to do is what? Our engagement trend. All right, our engagement trend. So I'll still come back here and I'm going to duplicate this. Ctrl C. And I can put it down here. You know, I'll add in here, I'm going to add that global, right? Global to it. Boom, there we go. You can see the global is just giving us what? Our average. I'm going to select this whole thing here. Let's change this to percentage. And we'll highlight this 3. I will insert this into, I'm going to use the combo chart, right? We're going to use a combo chart right here. It's going to look something like this. Okay? It's going to look something like this. Okay? I'm going to show you how to clean this once, and then we're going to use it for every single one. Okay, I think we don't need this. Take that out. Same thing, you idle. We're going to move this here. We want this smaller. Okay. We don't want any line. We don't want any fill. Okay. You adjust this accordingly. You adjust this accordingly. Let us cut this. Let's take it to our page. Bring it here. It's going to look something like this. You adjust it. Make sure it's nice. And then what we're going to do here, very simple. We'll start formatting. So for this, we're going to use our gradient fill. And for this, we'll change this to what? We'll change this to dots. Okay? And we're going to use kind of like a gray for this. Okay? We're going to use a gray for this. Why? What are we trying to visualize? We want to have our what? Our average. If you want this to pop, you can select this, make this bold. You can select this, and you can use solid line. Solid line should be what? So you can use something like this to give it kind of like an edge. Let me get the exact stuff I used. Okay, I use gap width of 70. So we're going to do that right now. So our gap width will be 70. All right, there we go. And then we're going to add our title. We're going to add our title. Charts title. Control A, Control V. This is what the title is looking like. Right? You can see right there. What we're going to do next, we will make sure it's perfectly aligned. You can use the lighter shade. All right, so click on this. I want to turn on what? We want to turn on our data levels. We can make them what? Bold. And just like that, we're done with this visual here. I'm going to quickly copy this, bring this down here, and I'm going to reference our first summary, smart summary, right here, which is the monthly, okay, which is the monthly summary. It's just going to be underneath. Again, let me grab the exact okay, so this is what I used. We're going to have what? Something like this as a first visual. All right, the second visual we'll be applying here is going to be the platform performance. The platform performance. Okay, let's come to our analysis. I think this is it. All right, I think this is it. So I'm going to insert this into what? We're going to use a bar chart. Again, all of the cleaning that we've used so far, you can do that. I already saved it, so I'll come to templates and I'm going to use it here. All right, this is what our bar chart is looking like. It's the same thing as the donut chart, as the column chart I use for the the monthly analysis. The next thing I want to do here is I'll come here and I will say, okay, fine. For the number label, I want to use what? Value from field. And what is that value? I want to use this to get our what? Total posts. Can you see? To get our total posts here. I'll go ahead and adjust this a little bit. Let's see. Okay. And then I'll cut. You can see once you're done with that KPI, everything becomes easy to build. Okay. So we're going to adjust this. It's going to look something like this. Again, leave space for your charts to breathe. Let me quickly get the title. I want to push this all to the left hand side. All right, fantastic. All right, so we'll have this here. We're going to do the same thing for the next one, which is what? The content type preference, which is we'll be visualizing, if I'm not mistaken, okay. I think we'll quickly reference this out. Equal to this. Let's bring this down. And then equal to this. Let's bring this down. It's sorted in descending order, by the way, because I want to use a bar chart. Templates, that same chart I used before, we'll have it here. It's going to look something like this. I would come here and I will sort in smallest to largest. Boom, there we go. Quickly come here. I'll do the same thing. Value from cell. Okay. There we go. Can adjust this a little bit to make sure everything fits perfectly. Let me grab the name of that visual. So we'll have these words right there. Make sure everything is aligned properly. Okay, make sure everything is aligned properly. And just like that, we're done with what? We're done with our page one. You can see, came out beautiful, isn't it? Came out real nice. All right, let's move to our page two. Page two becomes a little bit tricky. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I would come here and I will pick this. Control C. I'll come here. And just like I did this, I'm going to paste this beside it. Why? Because I don't want, in case it expands and contrasts, I don't want it to affect. Okay? I don't want it to affect our visual. Maybe I can even move it up here, right? So highlight the whole thing. We want this to be plain white. And then home, we don't want any, so we don't want any border. We want this clean like this. Now this is what we're going to do. I'll highlight this whole thing. I'll come to home, and for the conditional formatting, I will use more rules. Same thing for So highest value is going to be this, and lowest value, I'll pick the color that I used. Let me get that real quick. We'll come back to that, don't worry. We'll quickly pick up the color so that it blends perfectly into our visual. We're going to highlight this. We're going to edit, manage that row, we'll edit. And then we'll replace this with what? That color. So if you check this pivot table, you will see all the colors there. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like. Alright, so what do? I'm going to rename this platform. To rename this platform, I will highlight all of this and I'll take a linked image. Come to page 2 and boom, we have it here. You need to make sure this comes out really nice. Okay, so I would come here and I'll quickly adjust. So first things first, this is going to be, make this bold, and let's bring it to like, same thing here, make this bold as well and bring it to like 10. You can adjust some of these things so that it fits perfectly well. It's a linked image. So all these things we're doing will be affected here. So I'm trying to see how we can make this look perfect. So we don't want any fill, we don't want any line. Okay. This is what it's looking like at the moment. You will just play around with this till you get something that works. So let's do 8. Let's do 8. And then let's see if we can do 9. That's what it will look like. Okay, not bad. Not bad. All right, cool. I'll quickly grab this as well. Ctrl+C. And I'll paste it here. I'm going to paste it here. We're going to use our second text, which is going to be this. Right, platform, yeah. It's going to be this. I'll hit enter. I will have this right there. Let's increase this. Okay. You adjust this underneath, and this gives us a summary of this visual right here. This is how you get this done. Okay. So let's build the second one, which is the engagement rate by posting time. So we're going to pick this real quick. This right here. Again, I'll have to reference this out. We're going to insert again into that saved, right? Into that saved template right here. Okay, to that saved templates right here. If you have any issues, when I upload this, when you look at my copy, you can save this as a template and then reuse them for yours as well, you know, to speed up the process. So we'll have this right here. We'll quickly cut this and these are too thick, so I can bring this down to my own taste by increasing this. Yeah, that works. Perfect. And then the title. All right. We're gonna make this. Oh shoot. Put that out. And we'll have you can see how fast the visuals are being churned out as we have a template set. So this will help you with your speed. So for this one, it's a little bit tricky, but let's do that right now. So I think it's going to be our, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be this right here, the campaign. Still using a bar chart for this. So we'll cut, and I'll paste this right here. I'll make sure everything is on a single line here. Okay. And then what do? So for the followers, we're going to everything so far all we've done. So Control C, Control V, we'll have this here. I'm going to reference this to what? To the follower counts. I'll pick this, which is the highest. Okay, and then I will do this for each and every one whilst aligning it here. All right. So because of time, you just do that for each and every one of them. Because of time, because I don't want this to go, it's becoming ridiculously long. I'll just copy from my end here, and I'll paste. I'm going to paste. So you just do it to reference the cells, right? Reference the cells right there. Okay, you can play around with this. If you feel that's too thin, you can reduce the gap width a little bit. Just set it up to your taste. Okay. Just you can reduce. If you reduce the gap width, it becomes bigger. You can set it up to whatever taste you like. And for the title, I'll quickly grab this. I'm going to quickly grab the title for us. Ctrl A, Ctrl D. Okay. We're going to increase this and then see how we can reduce this a tiny bit. Just adjust this to make sure everything fits perfectly fine. All right. So for this one, it's a little bit tricky. So I'll come to the boosted, which is this. We're just going to highlight this real quick. Inserts. We're going to inserts. Paste. For the title, I have our title right here. So for this and this, we'll just grab any of this. So we'll just duplicate. We'll come here. So our CPE for organic. I will come here and so CPE for organic, where are you? So CPE for organic, which is no, I'll reference this. Okay, and I'll do this, I will duplicate, and I'll do the same for what? Boosted. All right, again, because of time, let me quickly copy it. So that's what you will do, and then you put them here. I'm going to put them here. Make sure everything is quite nice. All right, and then for our final visual, I will come back to our analysis. Remember, we'll have this right here, which is to show our, I'll go to view. We don't want any grid lines. Let's just take out everything. You could move this to the other side as well. So I'll just highlight this to make sure that everything is once plane. All right, one plane, and then again, we don't want any where are you? Any no border. Whilst highlighting this whole thing, so we can call this what? We can call this post ID. Post ID. You highlight the whole thing. Just this, make them bold, and then you highlight this whole thing here, and you snapshot. So for page 2, we'll have this right here. So you can see you can adjust this accordingly to give you what the required shape, just like I've done before. I'm just going to paste the copy here. It's just to remove the fill and the border, and just like that, we'll have our visual here. Now, finally, I'll grab this, Ctrl C, duplicate. We're going to bring it here. This is going to give us what? Our summary for this page. So we're going to drag it down here, and dashboard elements. We'll pick, so this is 1, 2, 3. Boom, there we go. We increase. Okay, you can see right there, and just like that, we have our summary. And wow, we've built all 2 pages of our reports, page 1 and page 2. What we need to do now is to what? Is to add our slicers, and create our page navigation to tie everything together. Okay, in order for us to do that, we should, you can go online, right? I'll add the icons for you guys. You can go online. Okay, you could go online, flat icons, icon 8, wherever website to get these icons. I already have them here. Okay, I'm just going to copy them. Let me quickly grab them real quick. So these are the icons. You can grab a copy. You can grab a copy from this and paste in yours, or you can go online and get any icon you want. You insert this. Now, what we're going to do, so we're going to create a shape. How do you create a shape like this? It's very simple. You come here, you do shape, rounded. No, not that. You insert, you pick in rounded rectangle. We adjust it to the size you want, and you make it what? Like a pearl. Is it peel? Yeah, peel. Make sure, and then you edit, and you pick the color you want. You understand? That is what that was how I was able to get this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to drag this and I'll put it here. Okay. But first things first, I'll select this and I'll make sure that we bring this what? We bring to what? To front. So that this now becomes what? Underneath it. Okay. This is our first page. Looking good. So for our shape format, we're going to I'm going to right click and I'm going to link, right? I want to link what? Place in documents. So this will be what? This will be our page 1. Are we okay? Same thing with that shape there, link, page 1. Okay. I'll come here, I'll come to this, I'll link. This is going to be what? Our page 2. Our link, this is going to be what? This is going to take us to our what? Our data sets. And this will take us to what? Link to our analysis. Okay. So for page 2, we'll do something similar. I'll just copy everything. You can see we have this here. You can arrange it again the way you want. So for this will take us to what? This will take us to page 1. This will take us to page 2. Page 2. Take us to the analysis. And this will take us to what? To our data set. So you can see here, now you can see whenever I come here, this turns into a finger. So I can take this to our first page, second page, our analysis. Okay, and the data set. Fantastic. Now we are done with our page navigation. The final thing we need to do, which is one of the most annoying things to fix, is going to be our slicer. Okay, it's going to be our slicer. So pretty much all we're going to do here is we're going to let me come here, let me pick this. Let me pick this. So anything that has to do with month, right? Let's give it this names. KPI Just give it random names. Right? So anything that has to do with month, we don't want to so I'll select any of this. I'm going to select any of this right here. Okay, we still have one here as well. So KPI. I'm just giving this KPI because I want to be able to track them. Okay, so you select any of this, and then you go to pivot table analyze. You want to insert sliders. What are the three sliders we need? We need our year month, yeah, from our calendar table. We need, let me confirm the three sliders we had. 1 second. We'll confirm the three sliders we had. So I think it's the year month, the campaign, and the platform. You can add more if you want. So we'll have these three sliders right here. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So I'm going to do this for the year month, but you should do for all three. You right click, you go to report connection, and you select everything. You mark it and you connect it to what? Everything except the ones with KPIs attached to them. Why? Because you don't want the month. For the other ones, you should make sure that you select everything. But for this year month, you don't want it to affect any slicer, any visual there with a date in it. So we're going to do this. So this is us connecting everything together. This is us connecting everything together. What's going on here? Why is this flagging? Give it a second. It's going to connect everything together. It's going to connect everything together. I see. It's messing up. It's messing up. It's messing up everything. I'm just going to zoom out. Let me find our third slicer. Okay, there you are. Let's zoom back in. So mark 2 and 3. Ctrl X. We'll come to page 1. Ctrl V. Paste everything. Edible. There we go. So we'll have our three right here. All right. So we're going to quickly arrange this. So we'll have this right here. We'll have this right here as well. These things can be annoying to edit. I won't lie to you. So annoying. We'll have this right here. Just make sure you arrange them. They look good. Make sure they have the same size as well. We'll mark all three. Our slicer, we want to align to the, let's do bottom. I want to what? We want to distribute vertically to make sure everything has the same shade. All right, cool. We need some colors. We need some colors. I need to quickly grab those colors real quick. We need the purple. We need the pink rather. Let me just quickly grab this color. I want them in my clipboard. So this one, I want this, Control A, Control C, and then I want, let's do solid fill. And then I want this. No, that's not it. That's not the color. Let me grab our other color. 1 second. So it's going to be this color I used. It's not white per se, right? It's not white per se, but we'll be needing this. All right, so I'm going to click on any of them there. I'll click on this. I'll go to slicer. I'll right click and I will say duplicate. Now for the header, for the whole slicer, we want to quickly format, and everything is looking good. So for the fill, for the border, we don't want any border. For the fill, I want to use that color, this color here. It's not white. Okay, so look at the color code. You can pause and you can pick it up. That's the color code right there. And I'll click OK. Fantastic. So for the header format, again, we don't want any for the color. Only use same color. Okay, only use same color. Right, cool. So selected items with data. Selected items with data. We don't want this. We don't want any width. For this, we're going to use our pink. Okay, we're going to use our pink. We're going to use our pink. For selected items with data. Selected items with no data. Selected items with no data. Let's use gray. Let's use something like this. Now, unselected items. So unselected item with data. We want to make it flush. So no. So for the field, we want to use our off-white. I hope I get this on the first try. It can be really annoying. We're going to use our off-whites. And we can leave this on. So when you hover around data with data, what do you want to do? Let's make it bold. We don't want any border. The fill should be what? Let's use this. And when you hover, selected item on the data, okay? Hover on selected items with data. Let's still use this right here. And then let me click on OK. We'll go to slicer and then we'll select this. Fantastic. We'll mark this and then we'll mark this and we'll select our new what? Slicer. Just like that, everything has slotted in perfectly for us. I don't think it did though, right? I think we're using, okay. Let's see. I think I used a different color, different shade of color there. We need this to be flushed in. We need this to be flushed in, so I need to grab the exact color. 1 second. Oh, thank God. Restart power. Okay. I will click this. I'll right click and I'm going to modify. So the whole slicer should be what? Where's that fill? Let's use this instead. This is it right here. That's the code. I'll pause for a few seconds. Header. Same thing. Perfect. That's slotted in perfectly for us. perfectly for us. And just like that, we are done with our dashboard. I know it's a long one, but it came out nice at the end. Okay, came out real nice at the end. So this is what we are left with right here. Okay, this is what we're left with. So you can see here, mark this, move it, make sure it aligns. It's taking a lot of time. Just going to move this to be roughly around here, and then Control C and Control V. You drag this and you put them somewhere around here as well. And just like that, our dashboard is what? Is fully functional. So I could come here and I can say, okay, fine. I want to use another month, and boom. Just like that, you can see our reports is interactive. There's no previous month. That's the earliest month. So let's select something else. Can you see? Can you see? So our dashboard is fully interactive. Okay. So we built something amazing right here. I know it's a long one, but it came out really nice. You can build this, you can add this to your portfolio. Remember, every information you need is going to be attached in the description together with the insights. Okay, together with the insights, I'm going to upload the insights, the recommendations, everything we found out. We can go through it. You can use this for your portfolio project. You build this, you share on social medias, you tag me, and of course I'll give you a like. All right, so this is here. We'll be wrapping it up for today. I missed you all. I'm back, and I know there will be a lot of content that will be valuable to you all. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, share with anyone who needs this, and connect with me on all of my social media platforms. Okay, thank you guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers.